Hey everyone, it's time to wrap up the last two system changes coming at the end of April for Street Fighter V. First off, we have the V-reversal changes. So right now, for some reason, V-reversals take 1 extra frame to activate if you do it while crouching. So it starts 1/60th of a second slower than if you were standing and blocking. Though that isn't really a big deal, it doesn't make sense from a gameplay standpoint. So Capcom doesn't want to encourage players to just stand and block, leaving yourself open to low attacks, just so your V-reversal comes out faster. That's just silly. I guess the worst case scenario is that 1 slower frame could possibly give your opponent enough time to block your V-reversal, for example, or even worse, bait it and jump and land with an attack before you recover and not be able to block it. So the easy solution Capcom has done was simply make V-reversals activate 1 frame faster while crouching. Now both are the same speed, so you don't have to worry about if you're standing or crouching now, they both activate at the same time. Easy fix. Alright, change number 2. This is regarding charge special moves. This one is definitely not as simple to explain. So, Capcom, as they put it, increased the hold frames for charge moves. Now, I think this isn't very well worded, it's kind of confusing, so I'll definitely elaborate on this. What they did was increase the input buffer window for charge moves. So this has actually been changed once already, in case you guys forgot. When the game first launched, the input buffer window for charge moves was 12 frames. But then they recently lowered it to 6 frames, so that's what we're playing now. So basically, they cut the total time in half. Alright, so there was a ton of confusion when they first changed this, because there was a lot of people thinking this meant they changed how long it takes to charge for a charge move. That is definitely incorrect. That has not been changed. It's the amount of time you have after you charge to press the button and finish the input before you lose the charge. So let me give you guys an example. Let's say you're playing Guile, and you want to do your Sonic Boom. So of course you charge down back. I'm charging for my Sonic Boom. Now at some point, I gotta release this charge and press forward and punch so the Sonic Boom comes out. That's what they changed. It's how long you actually have the charge for. So now I have enough, I've charged for long enough. How much time do I have to let go of my charge and press forward and punch? That's been cut in half to 6 frames. So now I have a very, very little amount of time to press forward and punch after I let go of my charge. That's basically what it is. Let's say it was a really, really long time, like 60 frames or something, then I'd be able to charge, dash forward, and still have enough time to throw my Sonic Boom. So what are the pros and cons to this change? Why did Capcom cut the time in half? Well, one of the pros, and the main reason why Capcom changed this, is to keep unintentional charge moves from coming out when you don't want them to. So basically, they wanted to tighten the leniency. So let's say you're playing Guile. Naturally, you're going to be crouching and blocking a lot and walking away and throwing Sonic Booms. So a lot of times, you're going to be charging even when you don't want to. So let's say the opponent was coming in range, say Ryu was walking towards me, and I wanted to hit him with a forward hard punch. Well, if I did a forward hard punch right away, then of course a Sonic Boom would come out by accident. So what they did is they made it so I could just take like a slight step forward and then I'll get my forward hard punch every time. So they didn't want you to just accidentally do charge moves if the charge was for too long, because let's say it was real long, like say it was twice as long, I'd be able to take a step forward sometimes and throw a Sonic Boom accidentally, then just do the forward hard punch. Let's say you blocked your opponent's uppercut, for example, and then you want to do your crush counter on them, so forward hard punch. Sometimes you would accidentally do a Sonic Boom because you wouldn't be thinking, because you're like, oh, I'm blocking uppercut, so you're charging by accident. So that's just like another situation that Capcom is thinking about. So what about the cons of this change? Well, unfortunately, there's a lot more cons than the pros when you cut the time in half like this. For one, it's hard to pre-charge buffers since we have less time to keep our previous charge in the first place. So what I mean by that is, let's use Guile as an example again. A lot of the experienced Guile players, when they do their Sonic Boom, they like to charge, and then instead of just pressing forward and punch to do Sonic Boom, they'll charge and they'll press forward and then return to down back and then press punch. So that way they're charging for their Sonic Boom as they throw their Sonic Booms. Kind of like getting a head start on your charge. It just allows you to throw Sonic Booms faster. But now when the window is so small, even if I do it really fast, the Sonic Boom won't come out now. Because that extra time I took to go down back again, the charge is lost, it's gone, because the window is cut in half. Now I gotta do it insanely fast. And there's characters like charge players like Bison, for example, doing constant knee presses. It's the same thing. It's much harder to do now. Another con is that it's a lot harder now to do down charge specials into standing attacks. So for example, Guile's down charge special is his flash kick, of course. But say I wanted to cancel that from a standing light kick, which is really important because this is Guile's furthest cancelable light attack. And I have to charge down, and then I have to let go of my charge, and then go standing light kick into flash kick really, really fast. And that was hard to begin with. Now that window's cut in half. So you gotta do a lot faster now. I consider this yet another nerf to my boy Alex, because doing a standing medium punch into his head crush is actually pretty important. Even the Urian players got hurt from this change, because they're going to do a lot of the standing normals into headbutt, which is another down charge special. So they go forward medium punch, for example, to do their mix-ups, or standing light punch headbutt for their headbutt loops. So there are a lot of characters that got hurt by this. Another thing that experienced Urian players like to do a lot is they like to walk forward into their headbutt. So it's good for like baiting a throw or something. So to do that, you just charge down back and then you walk forward just for a slight moment, and then you go right into your headbutt. And then you can do something really tricky, like put the reflector behind the opponent and then walk forward like you're gonna throw them and then just knock them into it, which is pretty OP. So as you guys can see, there are a lot more cons to this change than pros, and as such, Capcom has listened and extended the window to 10 frames now. So when the game launched, it was 12, then they changed it to now, which is 6, and then coming in April, they're bringing it to 10. So it's not quite as long as when the game first came out, but I think it's a good middle ground, a good compromise. So when the April patch finally comes out, players that play charge characters should feel a bit more leniency now for doing their charge attacks. So that wraps up the video, guys. Thanks for taking the time to watch this. Hopefully you found this informative. Don't forget to like the video, guys, and be sure to subscribe to the channel, especially if you're new. We'll be going over the character changes next in depth. So till then, guys, take care.